Hi everyone, I'm Avishay from Anima, and today we're gonna do a session about high-fidelity prototypes right inside Sketch. So before we dive right in, let me give you some background. Well, if you don't know Anima, essentially what we do is we convert design into code automatically, which gives you the option to do multiple stuff. Well, you can create high-fidelity prototypes using Anima, which we'll see soon. You can create live landing pages and websites from your design tool. So you can create websites from Sketch or from XD, by the way, also soon from Figma. And the last thing is you can export your design as HTML and hand it over to engineers, which is pretty cool. So let's go ahead and talk about high-fidelity prototypes. Well, first, our motivation to create first, maybe what is a high-fidelity prototype? Well, a high-fidelity prototype is a prototype that feels real. Unlike the usual prototypes that you can create with Sketch or I don't know, XD InVision, with Anima you can create prototypes that are responsive and interactive, and people can actually play with them, and it feels like the real product. And why would you do that? So what's your motivation to create a high-fidelity prototype? So to begin with, you can feel your design during the design cycle before even going to engineering and then beginning the development cycles. Okay, that's the first thing. Second thing is you can make a sale. It helps you convey your vision. It could be for a potential customer if you're a freelancer, or it could even be for your boss or your stakeholders, even your investors. If you want to give them something they can feel, and it makes way more impression than static images. Another key benefit of high-fidelity prototype is the ability to do real user testing. You can watch users play with something that feels real, and we'll talk about it. Actually, we have an article coming up on how to add full story to your prototype, which means you'll be able to see how your users or your stakeholders or your clients are playing with a prototype. And this can only be achieved by the fact that Anima prototypes are based on code, and you can embed any code in it, be it full story or Google Analytics. We'll see it in a minute. And the last one, as for motivations to create high-fidelity prototypes, is that you can hand it off to engineering and show them how you want it to feel and how you want it to behave. And actually, you can even hand them over code, which they can take and embed in their own code. So let's dive right in. I'm going to show my screen. This is actually Sketch. That. And what we're going to do today, we're going to play with a design created by Michelle, my co-founder, our chief of product. And you can actually, if you look after that in our Medium, on our Medium blog, you can see all those designs in different tips, and you can see tips for stuff that we will do today. So let's start. I have my design right here, and I've been designing it Michelle been designing it for mobile, tablet, and desktop. Okay. Now, what I want to have with something that feels real is I don't know if my stakeholders or my clients will open the prototype on their mobile, tablet, or desktop, right? So I don't want to be making 3 versions of it and send them multiple links. What I can do with Anima, I can actually tell Anima, this one, this artboard, and this artboard are actually the same page. And We're gonna show. Let me do it from scratch. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select this artboard, either one of them, the mobile. I'm gonna go. This is after you install Anima's plugin for Sketch. You will see Anima plugin right in the right bottom corner. And I'll go to the middle tab called Prototype and into Flow. Now, in Flow, I can find breakpoints. And breakpoints, we said it will allow me to connect these three outputs. So what I'm going to do, I selected this one. I'm going to click plus, add a tablet. I'm going to click plus again, add a desktop. That's it. Anima now knows that all these three are the same output. And I'm going to go full screen here because it looks a bit small. Okay, so now Anima knows that this is the same screen, but how do I see my prototype with Anima? Well, when you work with Anima, the key thing is the key button is actually previewing your design in browser. You do it all the time, and on every change you make, you want to see how it converts into code. So I'm going to click preview in browser. It's going to take a sec, and then what I'm going to see is actually a browser. It doesn't look like a browser, I know, but we'll see in a sec. It is a browser indeed, and this browser allows me to view the code generated by Anima, and we just created a responsive web page, and if I resize the browser, I will see all the breakpoints of it. Okay. Now, by the way, you can comment. The Anima team is watching us as well, and they can respond. And if I'll see stuff, we can have a Q&A session at the end of this. Okay, so responsive web pages. This is cool, right? You can send a single link to your stakeholders, and it will actually work. You don't need to create. Actually, I saw designers create a prototype for iPhone, for an Android, for a tablet, for an Android tablet, and for a huge amount of artwork, huge amount of it looks like spaghetti prototype, and this actually saves a lot of it. Yeah, so those were breakpoints, and let's go ahead and talk about links in Anima. So I'm going to close this browser, back to Sketch, and essentially Anima has a deep integration with design tools. So this is Anima for Sketch. I mentioned we also have Anima for Adobe XD, released about a month ago, and Figma is coming soon. And you're gonna see the Anima panel in all of them, and it fits right in. So what I mean by that is that if I create a link in Sketch, a native Sketch link, Anima will translate it. So you don't have to work twice. If you already have your Sketch prototype in place, it will work in Anima. Okay, this should save you a huge amount of time. So I'm gonna connect this search flight button into the flight search results screen and see how it works. Now you see I've connected all the screens into this mobile version, but obviously this is a desktop version. So here as well I have a desktop version, which I can see is already connected in a breakpoint. So these two screens are actually the same page. Okay, and we're gonna see it in a minute. So I linked all these screens. I'm gonna click preview in browser again, and what Anima does in this processing phase is it converts your whole design into code. It will be faster, but it's better than before, trust me. Okay, so I have this responsive web page. I click search files, and I see the mobile version of it. Now, we saw that there is a breakpoint for desktop here as well. Okay, that's a spoiler. Here as well, and it just works. If I go back and I click it from desktop, I will just see the desktop version. Okay, and let's go ahead and see another feature in links. So these were actually sketch links working in Anima. And what I want to show you now is an overlay link. Okay, an overlay link allows us to show a pop-up or a modal window, one artboard on top of the other. So what I did here, or Michelle did here, I still have the credit, but what she did here is she made the artwork background slightly transparent. So when this design comes on top of this design, we'll see it through. Okay, let's see how it works. And I'm gonna connect this search result into the book your flight modal. And the way I'm gonna do it, again, I'm gonna go to flow. I'm gonna create a link, this time an Anima link, not a sketch link. I'll create a link here. And I can see the link details here, and I'm gonna choose an overlay link. I don't know if you can see it. I'll go full screen for a sec. And this is an overlay link, okay? And let's see how it behaves. Within browser. Okay. So I'm gonna see the results screen. I'm gonna click this one, and I see an overlay. Okay. Now let's see how it behaves on the desktop version. Let's look for the desktop. Oh, it's actually in place for the desktop, so we can just do it again. Okay. So even though this design was made for mobile, the content of it is centered, okay? And the artboard itself is going to stretch on the desktop, and we see the purple overlay, transparent overlay over the whole screen. So usually when you create overlays, you don't have to create multiple versions of them. You may, though, you can create breakpoints for overlays as well, but you usually don't have to. So this is the mobile, desktop, and let's go ahead and see more links, types of links. So what I want to show you, last thing on links is we can actually create, since everything is working in the browser, we can actually create real world links, external links. So let's go ahead and see how it's already actually linked here to Instagram and Twitter, and we're gonna add the Facebook link in a sec. So I can see here that if I click the Twitter, I can see it's actually the browser, right? I wasn't cheating, and it's a browser. Oh, that's cheating. But I wasn't cheating. It's a browser, and when I clicked an external link, it worked. Okay, let's see the Facebook one. So how I'm gonna add an external link. I chose this layer. I clicked links. Now it's a bit not so. It's a bit a bit hidden. But you click here on external link. I'm gonna type here. I hope I have it in place. Okay. So that's it. Let's see if it works. Oh, it doesn't. Oh, it doesn't. There's no Facebook icon, but it will work. Okay, sorry, that's a bug. Okay, we'll fix it offline. Cool. So this is it for external link. We saw, just to summarize. Oh, this is not updated. So to summarize, we saw native sketch links. We saw an overlay link, right? And we saw an external link. Okay. These are the type of links that we have in Anima. And let's go ahead and continue to smart layers. Okay. Well, smart layers are layers that you can only do probably in Anima because it's based on code. And let's see. Well, if you saw earlier that I had an over effect here for this one. Let's remove it and do it from scratch. So I want to have an hover effect for this layer, and I want it to grow once my mouse enters it. So I'm going to head and click Smart Layers again under the Prototype tab. I'm going to click Hover Effects, and I'm going to click. I have a selection here. I can actually type in CSS, but it's for advanced. But I'm going to choose Grow. I'm going to do it slow, the duration of it, so you can see it in progress. Okay, I'm going to preview browser. So let's see. Okay. So this is cool. We added a hover effect in sec. I chose one from the menu, but you can actually play with it, and we'll see more advanced interactions later on this session. Cool. These were hover effects. Similar to hover effects, I can have entrance animations. So what I want to have is I want to have those three results entered to the screen after the screen appears. So I'm going to head and click entrance animation. I'm going to have it, let's say, move left. And let's do it half a sec. And let's do this one. Again, move left for half a sec with a half a sec delay, so it will be one after the other. And this one, move left half a sec with a 1 sec delay. Let's see how it works. Okay, this was cool. I ran it with a hover effect. Oh, got it. Okay, so we have some bug here, a conflict between the hover and entrance. Again, we'll fix it offline. Okay, so these were hover and entrance animations, and we're gonna go ahead and show you how to create LiveText inputs. So earlier we created this overlay, right? Which has a form in it, but usually when you create prototypes, they're static, right? They're images. On Anima, though, you can create LiveText inputs, and it actually works. If I was watching it on mobile, I will actually get the native keywords showed up. Let's see how we convert this basic text to a text input. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to select the text layer, okay? And I'm going to click under Prototype, Start Layers, I'm going to click Forms. And then I'm going to click Text Input. And I can choose a placeholder. It's name. And the type of it is going to be text. It could be email or password or number. And if you saw earlier, I had a password field here, and it showed the stripes, so the asterisks. So, and the reason for an email field is that if you have an email field, you can actually have Anima validate it. And if a user enters, ASD, they will get an error or an alert saying you need to type in a valid email, which is nice. And also on mobile, you will get the email keyboard, which has the @ sign and the .com, etc. Same goes for numbers. You will get the numbers keyboard on mobile. Okay, we're gonna use text here. I'm going to do preview browser. And since I only selected the overlay, I see only this arrow. Okay. But now this field is editable and it's live. Okay, that's it for forms. Actually, I mentioned before that you can create live landing pages with Anima. Spoiler to the next workshop, you can actually create a landing page and connect your domain to it and host it with Anima if you're using the Pro plan. And if you create forms, you can have Anima send it to your email and add it to a spreadsheet, which is pretty nice because if you create landing pages or, I don't know, collect leads, it's really usually what you do is you have a contact us or, I don't know, subscribe form, and it covers this use case. Okay, let's see some comments. Set layer as the text input is grayed out, you need to make sure you select a text layer. Yeah, you can. Okay, I see. Someone answered that you can fade in and fade out on hover effects. Someone asked Patricia asked how you can enable a text field. You simply select a text layer, click the forms, and edit the text input. Yeah, so actually someone asked about smooth transitions between breakpoints. Actually, yeah, you can do it. You can do it with the layout tab. Maybe if you'll have time at the end, we'll see how to use pins. And essentially what we're gonna do is pin stuff to the sides and center stuff and have some layer stretch. It's gonna be really smooth. If you want an example, you can actually go ahead to animapp.com. And Michelle, our chief of product, created it with Anima from scratch. It was created in Anima. You can play with the browser with and see how it works. We're gonna dive to it if you'll have time. Thank you, Shandy. Oh, Sandy, sorry. Thank you for the compliment. Cool, so let's go ahead and continue to, we did overlays, we did smart layers, essentially we did forms. Let's see what's next. Oh, okay, before I forget, let's go ahead and do interactions, okay? If you saw before, I did some spoiler here. I hovered this icon, and if you saw, it moved. So you can actually create, I'm gonna go ahead and do this full screen here, so maybe we'll see it better. So we'll see in a sec how to add such hover effect, and you actually can create interactions inside your screen. And Michelle created this nice interaction here, and this hover interaction. And let's see how she did it. And back in. Okay, so this one is actually a symbol, and I see some. If you can see, oh, you can't. This one. If you can see here, oh, it's too small. but you can see it's marked as an interactive layer. It's usually better practice to do interactions in symbols. First, because you can't put them anywhere and they will keep the interaction as symbols do. And second, because symbols has their own frame, unlike groups, which changes their frame according to content. So best practice for interactions is working with symbols. Let's put this one for the context, and let's see how we did it. So again, on the prototype tab, I have, sorry, we have interaction, the interaction section, and this one says edit because Michelle already created it. If she wouldn't, it would have said create. Okay, so let's see how she did it. And I clicked edit, and now I entered Anima Interactions editor. I'm still in Sketch. I can go back right here. But what I'm seeing is the symbol, and it has two states, okay, and a transition between the two. So essentially, what Michelle did is she moved this line to the right, and she created a transition between the two. And you know what? Let's go ahead and do that from scratch. I'm going to click the trash can here. So Michelle. That's enough. Okay, let's go ahead and do it in the symbol. Okay, that works. Okay, so I'm going to make this symbol interactive, and I'm going to click create right here, create interaction. And I see I already have two states here. This is the home state, and this is another state, and we don't have transitions between the two. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move this line to the right. Okay, this is the only difference between the two states. And what I want to do, I selected the whole state. I will click either add action here or this shortcut here and connect these two. And I want to have it transition to this state when mouse enters. And when mouse leaves, I want to have it return to the original state on mouse leave. Okay, this is it. If I run component, I can see it work. Let's see like that. Okay, this was easy, and it's really impressive if you embed it. I'm gonna go ahead and go back to Sketch. Now it's working. And let's see in a second how she did this one. Okay. So I chose this one. Edit. Again, we're probably gonna have two states. And basically, what Michelle did, she moved this orange rectangle to the right. There's a trick here she used in order to change the text color because we don't support color change just yet. But what you can do, she had a peach version of this text and a white version of this text, and she just hit it. That's it. Okay. This is it. This is basically it. It's pretty easy. If you want to go ahead and make it prettier and control the transitions of each layers, you can do that. You can play with the curving. You can play with the timing. You can make it way more impressive. It's pretty easy. It's pretty straightforward. If you didn't get it, there's at least 2 videos about it under animaapp.com/learn. Okay. Anything we see here, you can see on the Learn page or on our Medium blog. Okay. Let's see what's next. So before we wrap up, so a few stuff. One thing, I wanted to give you a discount if you want to try out Anima Pro Plan. Simply scan this barcode or type right in bit.ly, I'll put it here. It's valid for 24 hours, just for the people participating in the workshop. And you're gonna get the $39 pack in $9 a month for the first 3 months, and then you can choose if it's works for you or not. By the way, on the Pro plan, I mentioned that you can create live websites with Anima. If you choose the Pro plan, you can create unlimited amount of websites, and you can connect them your domain. If you bought your domain at I don't know, at GoDaddy.com or at Google, you can connect it directly to Anima and publish websites directly from Sketch or from XD, soon Figma. And then if you have your own place to host your website, or if you want to hand off code to engineers, you can literally export HTML. There's a button right here. It says export. That's it. What else? Well, on the Pro plan, you have unlimited amount of projects. You have all the features that you just saw, and you get the Sketch and the XD. And once it's available, also the Figma support, of course. That's it. Let me know if you need more of it, or I can move on. Okay, now actually I'm gonna show you a teaser. It's a really cool feature that's coming up. We haven't announced it yet. I promised a teaser, I promised a big reveal here. So before I do that, let's see if there's any questions. Oh, I see the team is already answering, so let's go ahead and continue to the big reveal. So if you know about, if you've heard about Magic Move or Auto Animate or Smart Animate, it has a lot of names, or basically the method of taking two artboards and dragging stuff around, duplicating one of them, dragging stuff around, and just creating an animation between the two of them. This is what's coming up, and the way you create it. Oh, it's perfect. Let's fix it. So the way you create it is, I literally chose this artboard, create a link, and where I chose overlay before, I just select Auto Animate, and that's it. And I'm gonna do it 1 sec, so you'll see how it works. And this is pure Sketch. I didn't go into Anima interactions or anything, and I'm gonna go into Preview Browser. It's going to space and back, and I'm gonna show. We're gonna see how it works. I hope. Okay, how cool is that? So I literally did nothing here but dragging layers around in the second artboard, and I got this cool animation. And what's cool about it, it's actually HTML and CSS. I can give it to engineers to take values out of it, or I can create a landing page out of it, or I can just send this link directly to my stakeholders, to my clients, or to my boss, or I don't know, to my investors, and you can do pretty impressive stuff with it. If you Google Auto Animate or Magic Move, you'll see a lot of cool stuff created with this feature on other platforms, and we're bringing it to Sketch. This is pretty exciting. Okay. So, by the way, I mentioned export code before. It's not the topic of this session, but you also have this button here. After you preview your design in browser and it looks good, you can click a button called export code and get HTML right away. And if you mention that, you can actually, if you want code that is more, that gives more value to engineers, if you only need a landing page that is pixel perfect, simply export code. If you want to have engineers happy about it, check this one and have it made with Auto Flexbox, which is a different topic. We'll talk about it in the next workshop. Okay, Let's see the comments. How can I share my product with a client? This is awesome. This is a great question. So let's see. Let's go back. And actually, up until now, we were only on a sandbox. We were previewing in browser, but we didn't share it with Anima. So this is actually just the tip of the iceberg. And the next phase, after it looks good, is to click Sync to Project. Actually, okay, you're gonna have, on the first time, you're gonna have a pop-up saying select the project you want to sync it to. But what it does right now, it's uploading your whole design into Anima, and it will allow you to invite collaborators, to invite your teammates. Of course, multiple designers can. Oh, it's on the wrong window, on the wrong screen. So it's basically generating the code right now. We'll see it in a sec. And until then, we can see that I can click share. And you guys asked how to share it. So I click share, and now I can do multiple things. I can either share a public link, which is I can just send it right away. It looks like the real thing. It looks like a full screen web page. Or if I don't want it to be public, I can invite specific people to it, as my client at anima.com. I'll invite them. Here I can choose if they can view or they can edit stuff. And now this is how you invite guests, like your clients or I don't know, people who are not part of the team. The way you add your team in is actually you either create a team or you add members to your existing team, and it's pretty basic. You can do it from the share, or you can. If I'm gonna go ahead and work. Okay, so this is after I synced my design to Anima. This is what I see. I can run the prototype, and I can see all the artworks here. I can comment. Actually, you probably know it from other platforms. And if you shared it with stakeholders or I don't know, with the part of the team, you can have people comment, your teammates comment on your design. You can fix it. You can, of course, sync a new version, and they will see the new version. And these are our comments. Yep. So this is basically it. Oh, we spoke about adding your team. So when you sign up to Anima, you can create your own team. If you didn't, you already have a team. You have your default personal team, and you can add people to it. So if I'm going to click on this person icon, I'll be able to add members to my team. Okay. This is it for the team and sharing. What else? Let's see. Let's go back to Sketch. Let's see if I covered everything. So we spoke about links. We spoke about smart layers. We spoke about we spoke about smart layers. We spoke about interactions. If you need the coupon again, by the way, here it is. It's Anima 9 USD, bit.ly/Anima 9 USD. And the exciting cool feature, which is auto-animate, that comes into Sketch, and also it will support the native auto-animate that you already have in Adobe XD. And I think that's it. And we said that if we'll have a few more minutes, we'll do the transitions, the pins, and see how it goes through between screen cycles. So let's do that. Unless there are other questions, let's see on the comments. Okay. 3 weeks into it, is there a way to do text leaks in a paragraph? Sorry, no, Nilu, there is no way to create links inside the paragraph. You can have like a workaround, and you can create a transparent rectangle and create a link in that by that. I know it's hacky, but currently there is no way to create a link inside a text paragraph. Okay, I don't see other questions. If you have other questions, please do a comment. Okay, let's go ahead and see pins, and after that we'll wrap up. So what we saw earlier is that, and I can throw away this. Okay, I won't throw it away. But what I see here, I have this tablet version. It's 630 pixel wide, and this one is 320. So if I have a phone which is 400 pixel wide, I'm gonna see white stripes in the sides. So, or actually, I'm gonna see the output background color. So what I want to do is first, if content is exceeding the artboard, it's going to show. So let's start by just extending this one and extending this one and see how it works. So I have my browser opened up at 320, but if I extend it, can you see the content that was inside? Well, I didn't stretch it enough. I need to do more of it. But this to begin with, creating your content, which isn't the main content, overflow from your artboard is going to help. Okay, so this is smoother, a bit smoother. And let's see other stuff we can do. So I mentioned pins earlier, and on this first section, I have multiple features of layout, but we just want to show pins here. And what I want to have on mobiles that aren't 320, I want to have this title pinned to the left, and it's a bit hard to see. Let me go full screen. I hope it helps. I pinned it left, and this icon, I'm gonna pin it to the right. This content is gonna be centered. It's not exactly centered, so I'm gonna move it a bit. This one, actually, I'm gonna pin it to the right. It's counterintuitive, but I wanna have this space constant. This one's gonna be centered. And this one's going to be, again, counterintuitive, but I'm going to pin it to the left. You know what? I'm going to pin it to the right. Okay, because it's a call to action, I want it to be centered, the text in the bottom. Okay, let's see how it works. And by the way, if you use any pins at all, you should use it for the whole artboard. Otherwise, the content is centered, as you saw before. So let's see how it works. Okay, this is pretty cool. So the title is actually pinned to the left. The icon is pinned to the right. We can see that the pitch rectangle is pinned to the right. Excuse me if it's not pitch, Michelle. I don't know, yellowish rectangle. And this is the form, which is centered, and the button, I pinned it to the right. So this is way smoother than before. And this is how you create smooth transitions between breakpoints. Okay? Okay. We're going to wrap it up. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. And we're going to do another session soon. If you like it, please share it. Please comment. Sorry. Oh, Daniel had another question. So Daniel asked if we really need to have the content exceed the outward in order to have it in place. We can either do that, or actually I can do other stuff. I can pin it to both sides, but just play with it and see how it works. Okay. Okay. So thanks guys for the kind words, and we're gonna have another session on creating websites with Anima and connecting your custom domains. So for example, if you create your portfolio, you can create it with Anima inside Sketch, inside XD, so inside Figma as well. It's pretty neat. Again, this is how Michelle created our homepage with Anima. It's pretty cool. We didn't have to spend any time on it. So if you enjoyed it, please share it. Please comment so we'll know to create more of it. And this is it. Enjoy Anima and stay safe, stay creative. Bye. Thank you, everyone.